Hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Griggs, coming to you on the first day of June 2021. Time on deck, 22:57 hours Central Daylight Time. Did China threaten the use of nuclear weapons on the United States of America over questions about investigating the origins of the pandemic? Really? What just happened? What was said? Who said it? What does it mean? Why is China rattling their sabers so hard over this? Why? Why have they also put $20 billion of tariffs on Australia for asking the same questions, for asking for an open, transparent investigation? Just asking for an investigation. If China were so innocent, they would open their doors and let us see what's in the house, rather than threatening wars and to blow away everything that you ever had. Guys, this is extremely irresponsible on their part, and it is the acts of a tyrannical bully. All right, I've said that. I put it out there, and we're going to look into these things and more. If these are the truth, if that is true. Just why is asking for an investigation? I mean, if they were not guilty, they should say, oh, sure, come on and have a look. But their actions, their provocations have been off the charts, irresponsible, and yet so many people have tried to sweep it under the rug for so long. Well, now it's very hard, even for social media, to do that, because now this is beginning to get ugly fast. We're living, do I believe that they actually would carry through with that threat? Well, I would certainly hope not, but the fact that they would make that threat is extremely irresponsible, extremely irresponsible. Now, and of course, we may look at that, but listen, guys, we live in extremely uncertain times today. We live in trying times, both internationally and domestically. I bring you this in part of my ongoing series of Eyes Wide Open and Head on a Civil News, so that you know that you need to prepare. You need to get ready. You need to get ready for things that may be coming at us, because this world is going bat crazy. And the bat may be also the origins of what? With a little assist from a laboratory, perhaps? That's what some studies say. Hey, we're talking about the head of NASA, former Democratic Senator Bill Nelson. The head of NASA has suggested that this may be the case. Even Fauci's had to back this pedal and suggest this may be the case. Even Joe Biden is President Joe Biden is willing to look into this. How far he'll go? The speculation's out there. Who does know? I don't know. But suddenly this is twisting around quite a bit. So, guys, you got to prep. You got to get ready. Subscribe to my channel, bang the notification bell, and click all, because I will be bringing you more stories of things about keeping your eyes wide open, your head on a swivel, if they allow me to, on this platform. Because everything I'm talking about right now today is in the open media. It's in the social media. There are scientists backing up what I'm saying now. Scientists. The science is behind what I'm saying. And then it's nothing new. I have brought you this story over a year ago, starting with the likes of Dr. Paul Cottrell. Yes, his PhD is not in medicine yet. He's working on one. But he did sequence and look at the genome, and he talked about some very unnatural splices in it on my channel, I'd say better than a year ago. And I've also interviewed other people who talked about such things, Alex Lightman. So, guys, there's nothing new here, but it's just suddenly coming out. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of egg on faces and a lot of other things, but this is very, very explosive. So listen, guys, when I say that you need to prepare, I'm not kidding. First thing you need to do is grow your own garden. You need to learn how to eat in the weeds and trees, which is free. I got videos on that. But you know, you need to be ready to cover the shortages. And note, I got a special deal. $200 off a 3-month supply of food that lasts for 25 years. And you may need that, because our society may be breaking down really fast. 25-year long-term food storage. Go to prepwithgreg.com. Prepwithgreg.com. This stuff lasts 25 years. That's the study list. It goes beyond that, my friends. It's just like canned stuff, way beyond it, because this stuff is dehydrated, which makes it lightweight. You get 2,000 calories per meal. This is This is a 2-week supply. The 1-month supply, you get 2 of these. There's $50 off of that. You get 6 of these with a 3-month supply. A kid can carry these. They're lightweight. So bugging out is simple. It's easy. They're easy to store in these nice buckets, which have other uses beyond. Hey, if you're in a canoe, a bucket like that's a good place to put your stuff. Or maybe it's a honey pot when you're in your bunker and can't go outdoors. All right. Go to printwithgreg.com. When you're there, click on the big star Patriot Supply logo. It takes you into all of the kind of stuff. Okay, on with this story, my friends. Let's do some sharing. We're going to look at some websites. We're just going to go through some news here real fast. I'm going to share with you about 3 websites. So the latest pronouncements of spite coming out of China comes from Hu Zhijin. Hu Zhijin, yes, the editor-in-chief of the Chinese Global Daily Times. Yeah, this is the guy. I have talked about him in the past. I have talked about him more than once, probably 3 or 4 times on this channel, because he is, you know, the Global Times is the mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party. And this guy is the editor-in-chief. So when he's out spewing stuff, he speaks from on high, and he claims he does too. So, and nobody's put him in check for that. So when you're an authoritarian regime like the CCP, and you speak and you say you speak for the top and you're allowed to keep speaking, then there must be something to it. If not, then he needs to be fired. Hey, CCP, maybe you listen to me for a little bit here. If you're going to let this guy run around say these things, and if you don't mean it, then holy smoke, you need to get rid of him, because it's really irresponsible to insinuate the kind of stuff he did, whether directly or indirectly, however you want to interpret what he said. But what he did is recently he suggested that China should prepare for a nuclear showdown with the United States after United States President Joe Biden affirmed continuing investigations into the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. What's wrong with investigating the origin of a pandemic, for Pete's sake? In any event, as you can see here, Biden is looking into it, believe it or not. So what did who say? He was talking about the high intensity showdown after citing talk about China's nuclear armament. So, you know, I don't know that he said it directly, but directly or indirectly, these are very irresponsible statements coming out of Hu Zhijin. All right, so let's look at some of these other things. Here we've got retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg said last Thursday that U.S. should make China cancel America's debt for having allowed this virus to spread worldwide, causing this believed to be 3 to 4 million deaths around the globe. Think about it. The whole globe has been locked down. The economies have been smashed to the ground. People have lost jobs. Governments have gone in debt. Your great-grandchildren are liable to be paying for these debts out their noses for years to come. You look at Britain. Britain has just now finally paid off the debts for World War II. So Britain has been suffering economically for decades. Decades. World War II? Wow. World War II ended in 45. Wow, guys. You know, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Long time ago. Think about it. 75 years ago. That's incredible. So let's look at this, guys. So, you know, think about the economic damage of shutting down so many businesses for so long, so many lives lost, including my brother, by the way. I would say that canceling the debt's not enough. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But let's go look at one other thing. Canceling debt probably isn't enough. Hey, I just issued an open letter to the Chinese people, and I warned them that this is just the first shoe to drop. It's liable to get a lot uglier, especially with people at the mouthpiece for the Chinese Communist Party making such veiled threats, or veiled or otherwise, suggesting high intensity, perhaps nuclear war with the United States over just us investigating things. I don't know, guys. Things are getting nuts. It's getting out of hand. So look at this, guys. An explosive new study claims that Chinese scientists created this bug in a Wuhan lab and then try to cover their tracks by reverse engineering versions of the virus and make it look like it evolved naturally from bats. Now, this is not Greg Allison saying, I'm saying that this study claims that. But when you look at who started this study, it's highly interesting. Now, I'm not making this as a claim. I'm just telling you what these guys are claiming. I'm telling you, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, a lot of other circumstantial evidence that seems to point to this, including the doctors at the Wuhan lab who got sick in November of 2019 before this thing really come out. Wow. So the paper's authors, in this case, the paper's authors are no less than Professor Angus Daglish and Norwegian scientist Dr. Birger Sorensen. Dr. Birger Sorensen. They wrote that they had prima facie evidence of a retro engineering in China for a year, but it was ignored by academics and major journalists. They had this, they had the evidence, but they were classified as having fake news by some stupid little geek-nosed pundits on social media who, well, they know how to, use some software. Okay, yeah, these are the guys who are making the judgments in our country. Political pundits and such. Yeah, overruling scientists. Now, let's check out these scientists. Daglish is a professor of oncology at St. George's University in London. Best known for his breakthrough first work in HIV vaccine. Wow, this guy is a major hitter, one of the top scientists on earth, and so he come up with this to treat patients and allow them to go off medications for months, the protocol that people with HIV has to take. Wow, this guy made major progress. Sorensen, the other guy, Sorensen, a virologist, is chair of the pharmaceutical company Immunor, which developed a coronavirus vaccine candidate called Bio-19. Wow, and Daglish doesn't have any shares in that company according to these claims here. So the allegations that they made were a deliberate destruction, concealment, containment of data of the Chinese labs. Oh, by the way, even our General Mark Milley of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, 4-star General Mark Milley, is saying that China is covering up evidence too. He says, we can't get bombed. I can't tell what this is because China's covering up the evidence. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I'm no fan of Mark Milley. I told you all that before, but he's what he's saying. So, anyway, he was one of Obama's darlings. So the shocking allegations and so this journal, they published a journal. They published a paper on this. And they said, let me go down here. These are the guys here, guys. Sorensen on the left and Daglish on the right. These are the guys who are making these findings. This is your Wuhan Institute of Virology right there with all these guards out in front. Here's what the plan. While analyzing COVID-19 samples last year, while trying to make their vaccine, they discovered unique fingerprints that could not have arisen from manipulation in laboratory. Essentially what they found was 4 proteins that were electrically charged positive, make them stick to the human cell. But they claim in nature, biophysics in no way ever allows this to happen, to have 4 positive charged proteins all together in sequence. They claim biophysics does not allow for that. The only way for that to have taken place was for it to have been manufactured. Man. Yeah, see, I don't know if words in there, right? Manufactured. That's what these 2 world-leading scientists state and assert. Yet their claims were declared fake news by some little snot-nosed social media, whatever. So now they're getting attention. Now it's coming out. Because it's just a whole raft of stuff coming out. So You know, the Chinese are vehemently denying this. They're vehemently sticking to the original story, and they're lashing out at anybody who disagrees in every way they can with venom and spite. Why? Why? Okay, Wuhan Institute of Biology, if you're so innocent. Hey, no, they weren't even a level 4 laboratories. It looks like they were actually level 2. Why were they allowed to work on such viruses as this? They collected apparently the original viruses back in the 2010s from some bats that caused high fatality rates in people there. And apparently they took those and did gain of function research on them to make them stick to our cells and become more effective and being infected. Okay. So this is what it looks like. At least that's what these guys claim. So here's something interesting. Even former MI6 chief, Dr. Richard Dearlove. What? Dr. Richard Dearlove. Okay, this sounds like something out of James Bond. Oh yeah, MI6 is James Bond, right? Yeah, only James Bond fiction characters have names like that. Oh, well, there he is. Seriously, Dr. Richard Dearlove. He spoke out publicly saying that the scientist theory could be investigated. The idea was dismissed as fake news. Apparently not anymore, though. Now it's taken hold. It's taken root. Yeah. So the media, even social media, has finally flipped on this. So they shouldn't be so quick to judge things according to the political script of the time. And they claim that was science while they're ignoring scientists over here. Yeah. Seen this happen in other areas too. And yet they claim that's science. Yeah. Okay. So now this week, President Biden has ordered the intelligence community to re-examine the origin of this virus. So we'll see where this goes. Some people are claiming that he won't follow through with this because he's too connected. So look at this, guys. Here's some excerpts from the abstract that Dr. Sorensen and Daglish put together. Excuse me. Here's your inserts. And here's the diagram showing how a row of 4 amino acids found in the SARS-CoV-2 spike have positive charge that clings to human cells like a magnet, making the virus extremely infectious. And Daglish and Sorensen, the author of this study, conclude SARS-CoV-2 has no credible natural ancestor. That it is beyond reasonable doubt that the virus was created through laboratory manipulation. Wow. That's what these guys are claiming. I'm just telling you what they're claiming. Did I say that's the case? Nope. I put words in my mouth. I'm just bringing to you what they're saying. Yeah. All right, because guys, this is extremely explosive here. The implication of our historical reconstruction, we posit now beyond reasonable doubt of purposely manipulated chimeric virus SARS-CoV-2 makes it imperative to reconsider what types of gain-of-function experiments it is morally acceptable to undertake. How about none? How about none? This gain-of-function stuff, Fauci used to be a big fan of gain-of-function, right? Of course, he is denying that his research, that money that went into Wuhan Institute of Virology supported gain-of-function. Yeah, and the EU had some similar fingers in some of this stuff. So, yeah, look at this. What do they claim? We think that they have been retro-engineered viruses created. And they also point to deliberate destruction, concealment, or contamination of data in the Chinese laboratories, and noted that Chinese scientists who wish to share their knowledge have not been able to do so or have disappeared. Poof. Interesting. Interesting. Well, look, you know, the first Chinese scientists who brought this out, they tried to hide him. They tried to cover up him, and yet what happened? He became one of the first victims of it. So there you are, guys. Yeah. So this is interesting. I've covered this in the past, over a year ago. I hope that social media is now woke up and won't slap me for talking about this, because I'm just bringing you 3 data points here. One, a data point of Hu Zhijin, who is rattling a saber to the United States, an American general who is saying what he believes the consequences should be, and the debt that the U.S. owes to China being absolved, which I would say is not nearly enough to even make up for the loss in financial losses in our economy, much less all the lives lost. And even if you don't believe in this stuff, some of you don't believe in this real, but you know what? Our economy has suffered mightily as a result of this, however you want to look at it. And then we got very credible scientists here, some of the world's very top scientists who were ignored for a while, who now at least finally are getting the light of day on their study. Wow, how do we ever ignore such gentlemen as these? All right, guys, so let's stop the share. You know, I did a video a while back talking about how China was trying to take over the United States in so many ways, and one of them being, you know, aside from isolating us from our allies, one of the ways that they were trying to take us was by buying property here in the United States. You realize they actually have, you know, hundreds of acres, sometimes square miles, near a lot of our key military installations. Chinese generals even. They're buying, and one of the objects, as I mentioned before, was to actually establish an ongoing business or buy out businesses in America in every congressional district, to have a major source of employment in every congressional district, not creating employment or just buying out existing companies. But the purpose of that is to have leverage on every congressman in the United States of America. That's what they were aiming for. So you know what I think would be one of the most appropriate retributions? Nationalize all Chinese assets in the United States and auction them off to the highest bidder, and use the gains, proceeds, and said auction against the United States debt other than the Chinese debt. Let's absolve ourselves of that debt, claim that back, claim their properties, and then auction them off and use that money to pay our debts to others that we owe debt to. Get our country in a more debt-free proposition, and it would stop China from wanting to buy in the United States to try to take over political influence in our country, and other countries could follow suit, and also claim back all those debt traps that got caught in with their Belts and Roads Initiative and all the other Chinese loans to a lot of these countries. And we need to investigate all the politicians who took a lot of big payoffs on behalf of China and suddenly gave a lot of favoritism to China. And if I was in the Philippines, I'd be looking at your president there quite a bit. So, guys, we have a lot of things to consider here. I say, if these things are true, if they prove out. Like I just did an open letter to Chinese people. So if I were a Chinese person, I would be taking a close look at this regime that allowed all these things to happen, that it's created such worldly disfavor, this growing against China, Compare it to, like I said, that salad days of when you were so popular. Could have had so much more. And you still can. You can recover. There, you might be in a bad spot now. Maybe a lot of damage has already been done. But the regime is taking you down a hole. You could recover some. You could stop the bleeding. You could put your finger in the levee. Watch my turn words. You know, the little boy blue and all those things. I was a kid, stuck his thumb in the levee. All right. So think about these things. There's good people in China. There still is. There's good people of every race, color, and creed all over the world. There's good people in every city, town, hamlet, and neighborhood. People they're smart, would give you the shirt off their back without a moment's notice. The governments of the world, they've allowed a lot of stuff to happen. And some are worse than others. And totalitarian government is the worst form. Our own may be heading in that direction if we don't pull it back. That's why I started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. We have to maintain our freedoms here. Not maintain, we've got to, what I call it, Freedom Restoration Foundation. Now we got to get back freedoms we lost. So does everybody worldwide. We need to work on this. We need to pull back the tide that's taking us toward tyranny. The tide to tyranny. Terminate the tide to tyranny. There's a ring. So we could do work on worldwide. Everybody can get involved in that. Terminate the tide to tyranny. There we go. I just created a new phrase. We need to do this before we plunge into war. If we plunge into warfare, all bets are off. People aren't going to be accommodating toward people of other places, irregardless. Not until the dust settles. It'd be very, very ugly. We don't need a war like that in the world today. The powers of warfare are too large. Hatred, we can't even afford that in the world today. We've got to find a way out of all this stuff. We got to find, because I've done my video, a nuke in every pot. That's where we're going technologically. The capacity of mass destruction is being democratized to lower and lower levels, and spreading out, especially through biowarfare and eventually nanotechnology. Even nuclear is spread. All these things are chemical, nuclear. It's all spreading. The technologies that could do us all in are getting to be in the hands of too many groups spread far and wide. The hatreds we have today in the world, that is not a good recipe, my friends. We've got to find a way out of this. That's why I did that open letter video. Try to get people in China thinking, we can't stand down here if there's a leader over there rattling a saber saying we'll take everything. But there's got to be some work on that, But yet we do need more freedom here. We need more accountability. We need to be, nobody in the world needs to be acting crazy right now. But yeah, it's trying times. It's trying times. The best thing you can do personally is get ready. Get yourself ready. Prepare. Pray. Meditate. We come out of this state. We rise above it and move on. That we don't get trapped into this craziness. That's what I really hope for. Now I'm going to be doing a habitat that, it's going to be so out of this world and so beyond all this. For a home you can live in here on Earth. I've got some good architectural drawings for it now. I've covered it in the past. I'm going to go back into this some more. I'm planning to start building them. This is a hope for the future. Some people tell me, "Oh, Dad, you're a fear monger." No. Don't ever be afraid. Don't ever panic. At least you have to panic more ways than one. Be prepared, not scared. That's what I tell people. So that's the best way not to be scared, is be prepared. But you can also be proactive. You can, and I'll show you how to do that in the Action Center page in the Freedom Restoration Foundation, freedomrestorationfoundation.org. That's how to get proactive, to talk to your own government. And me, I'm reaching out to other people. So, Mr. Greg, how do you expect people in China to be listening to the CCP? Well, they got people everywhere. They're all over the world. And they have VPNs too. Yeah, some of them may find my videos here. A lot of my videos have been attacking the party. Not the people, the party. And a lot of my viewers, you know, they have a hard time seeing the difference. But, you know, let's hope we can turn that around before it's too late. Before it's too late. Wow, guys, it's rough. We're heading toward the abyss real fast if we don't do something. It's kind of talk. I didn't start it. No, sir. I'm just telling you what's out there in the media, what people are talking about. Right or wrong, true or not. This is the topics that people are talking about right now. And that's my point. And just the fact that they're being discussed means the world is coming unhinged. So let's rehinge it. Let's batten it down. And then let's start talking, get some dialogue. And let's get rid of oppressive regimes worldwide. All of them. With that, I say, keep your hat on your head. Keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. It's coming fast, all directions. But if you're prepared, there's no reason to be scared. That I'm going to say, thank you for watching.